Welcome to the March 16th meeting of the City of Charleston Board of Zoning Appeals Zoning. Present are Mr. Robinson, Mr. Judon, Ms. Grass, Ms. Richards, Ms. Vargas, and Mr. Bennett. Present from the planning staff are Ms. Ashby and Ms. Stepp. These proceedings are being recorded, and we ask that those who speak identify themselves for the record. We'll conduct this meeting in usual fashion. We'll first receive information from city staff about the application and their recommendation. If the recommendation is favorable and no one objects to the application, usually the Board of Zoning Appeals treats the matter as being uncontested and passes it as a matter of course. If, however, the city recommends against the application or there is opposition to the application, we treat the application as contested and hear from the applicant and anyone else who is in favor of the application. Next, we hear from anyone opposed, followed by a short rebuttal from the applicant. We then close the public hearing portion of the meeting for that particular application and open discussion to the Board of Zoning Appeals members only. We'll then make a decision to approve with conditions, or deny the application. The Board of Zoning Appeals zoning has the authority to do three things. First, to hear appeals to decisions of the zoning administrator. Second, to grant special exceptions, a fact-finding function of the board. And third, to grant variances to the zoning ordinance if the application meets the hardship test outlined in section 54.924 of the ordinance. The board may deliberate and make a final decision on a matter by a majority vote of members present at the hearing and qualified to vote, provided that not less than a quorum is present and qualified to vote. However, an affirmative vote of 2/3 of the board members present and voting shall be required before a use variance may be granted. For a variance to be granted, the Board of Zoning Appeals must make the following findings. A, that they are extraordinary and exceptional conditions pertaining to the particular piece of property. B, these conditions do not generally apply to other property in the vicinity. C, because of these conditions, the application of the ordinance to the particular piece of property would effectively prohibit or unreasonably restrict the utilization of the property. And D, the authorization of a variance will not be of substantial detriment to adjacent property or to the public good, and the character of the district will not be harmed by the granting of the variance. We have one deferral on the agenda tonight, and that's item B1, 130 Broad Street. That has been deferred and will be heard at a future meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Mr. Morrison has joined us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
The first item on the agenda is a review of the results of votes from the prior 4 meetings this year. And Mr. Morrison, I understand that you were not at the February 16th meeting, so you will not vote on that meeting. Copies of the results of the votes were sent to all board members. And I assume everyone's had a chance to review those and review the results of the votes. Are there any questions or any motions as to those 4 sets of results of votes? Any motions?
Move to approve.
Move for approval by Ms. Richards.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Bennett, with Mr. Morrison recusing from the February 16th results. All in favor signify by saying aye. Mr. Morrison?
Recuse.
On February 16th. You were present at all the rest of them.
Oh, aye, sorry.
With the exception of February 16th. Thank you. Mr. Judon?
Aye.
Ms. Grass?
Aye.
Ms. Richards?
Aye.
Ms. Vargas?
Aye.
Mr. Bennett?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson votes aye. Next item on the agenda is item 2. Tall Oak Avenue, Ashley Forest. Request a variance from section 54301 to allow a one-story addition, living room, fireplace, porch, steps, with a 7.5-foot south side setback, 9 feet required, zoned SR2. Ms. Ashby.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. The application before you, 313 Tall Oak Avenue. Property is located in the Ashley Forest neighborhood. That's the zoning map. It is zoned SR2. That's the applicant's application. This is a variance, and the next slide shows the applicant addressing variance test. As I stated, this is a property located in the Ashley Forest neighborhood, and this is an area of West Ashley that is city and county. So this property was annexed into the city quite some time ago. Before you is a single-family residence, and the owner wishes to add a small addition to this modest home. I will go back to that slide. This is an aerial view of the property, and this is a zoning map where you can see what the property is zoned. These are pictures of this lot: front, side view, another side view, and rear. Another front view of this lot. I'll get back to that. This screen is the existing survey of the property. Let's see if I can get to the other screen, blowing it up. This shows a larger picture of the existing lot. And as you can see, this house encroaches into the north side of this property, the north side property line. So the addition proposed is actually on the south side because there is no room on the north side to do an addition. The house is an existing one-story wood frame house, and the proposed addition is a one-story addition. The setback into the south side, the required setback is 9 feet, and this addition will encroach 1.5 feet into that side setback. So the variance request is to be 7.5 feet from that south side property line. We feel that this proposed one-story addition meets the variance test. Here is your existing floor plan, and across is the floor plan of the proposed addition. Since this house currently encroaches on the north side, there is no room to add an addition. The proposed addition creates reasonable area for kitchen expansion, living area, there's going to be a fireplace, and then you have a small porch with steps. This constitutes the addition. The heated square footage of this house, this is a very modest home, is 1,302 square feet. The proposed addition increases that heated square footage to 1,577 square feet, an increase of only 275 square feet. The addition being proposed on the south side allows for several benefits. One, the proposed addition on the south side allows for open space to the rear of the lot. And it also keeps the character of the front of the house in keeping with the streetscape and the character of the neighborhood. That's the roof floor plan. Again, this is a one-story addition. And these are elevations of how this house will look. This is the existing front. This is the proposed front with that porch to the side. This is the rear, and the proposed rear, of course, shows the proposed one-story rear addition. This is the existing left side, and this is the proposed left side where you can see that porch that's off to the side. This is the right existing, and this view shows that front area and the side of the one-story proposed addition. This is a rendering that the designer did to show how this house will look with the different views with the addition. And we feel that this house is a modest house. The addition is not a very large addition. And with the intent of the owner to maintain that open space to the rear and not drastically change the facade of the house, we feel that the variance test is being met. We have a letter, forgive me. I will go back through the sides. We have a letter of support from the adjacent property owner at 311 Tall Oak Avenue that supports the proposed one-story addition for this property. We are not aware of any opposition to this request. City's recommendation is to approve this one-story addition.
Thank you. The city recommends approval. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Ashby on the board? Mr. Morrison moves for approval, seconded by Mr. Udine. All in favor signify by saying aye. Mr. Morrison?
Aye.
Mr. Udine?
Aye.
Ms. Rice?
Aye.
Ms. Richards?
Aye.
Ms. Vargas?
Aye.
Mr. Bennett?
Aye.
Robinson votes aye. The motion is unanimously approved. Thank you all very much. And that is it.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
I think I beat the previous chairman's record for the shortest meeting on we've ever had.
I think so.
Yes, thank you all. Our agendas are kind of slim right now. And like I was talking to Mr. Robinson, I think that they will start